Hello, Gordon again, and after an unfortunate hiatus, I'm back to present another fascinating Heidegger video for your viewing and listening pleasure. Last time we talked about how Descartes' ontology of self and world, where the mind is understood as one kind of thing with special mental properties like thinking, but still thought of as a present at hand object. And then the world is understood in terms of objects with spatial properties. That's really just a radical version of the sort of misleading ontology that has permeated the history of Western philosophy. And, um, and we find that that's natural. It's very natural. As Dasein, I am naturally going to be inclined to take a theoretical attitude towards, let's say, a chair, when I ask myself, for whatever reason, well, what is the chair? Um, and not only that, this natural tendency that each of us have this Dasein is mirrored in the history of philosophy, according to Heidegger, right? Because, as he says several times, there was a lot of ontological progress in Aristotle, ontological progress that was limited to the present at hand, but still a lot of progress. But after that, that sort of ontology was just taken for granted and was not really explored or developed or critiqued. Now, what I want to say in this video, or point out in this video, is that when we think of the self as an object, maybe a very special object, right? With special mental properties, right? It doesn't matter whether you're a materialist or a substance dualist or a property dualist. All of those views, at least as they're conventionally described in the philosophy of mind literature, are going to count as taking the self as present at hand. But when we take the self as present at hand, not only do we strip it from its context of being involved essentially with the world spatially, we also temporally abstract the subject matter of our considerations, right? Think about let's say you're doing a study and you're interested in the property of quartz. Well, you're not thinking of that temporally. You're thinking of that as just some sort of static state that all quartz objects have. And likewise, while everybody admits that there are there are issues of personal identity over time, and people may or may not have a future that's identical to them, and all of that, those issues are recognized. There's still a tendency to take the mind and think of it temporally as an instant, or as composed of instants or moments. And this is not only true for those who have a kind of four-dimensional block view of the universe, right, where time is spatialized as another sort of spatial dimension, sim- uh, but also for very different views. Consider presentism, the view that only the present exists. Well, so I exist at the present moment. What does that mean? Is it an instant? What would it be like to exist at an instant? Um, um, on the other hand, if you say, well, no, it's a spacious present, right? And you say, well, then some Weisenheimer philosopher is going to say, but wait, if it's extended in time, then isn't, the part later part, the future, and the bottom part, the earlier part, the past. So you haven't really captured the moment. Um, what we have already seen, though, I think, is that in Heidegger's description of our pragmatic dealings of the world, how we seize upon possibilities and make them real, right? Um, I go to a store and I haven't bought the book yet, but I am reaching out and grabbing for the book, and I'm making and I'm going to the cash register, and I am making that possibility of buying Sein on Zeit there. When you're building something or doing something, there is a sense in which you are in the future. Um, the sense in which you are grasping at possibilities and making them real. Now, this is just a glimmer of what I like to think of as Heidegger's view of Dasein as a kind of engine of becoming, of the dynamic character of Dasein's temporality. We won't really get to a discussion of that until we get to part two. And the discussion there is very intense, but loads of fun too. So hopefully we'll make it there, and I'll have a video for you at that time. So I'll just stop now, and next time talk about being with others.